Welcome back to my channel for day 2 of 12 Days of Christmas. In today's video, I am showing you a myriad of ways to make key fobs or keychains, whatever you want to call them, all different sizes, all different hardware, and it's just pretty straightforward and a lot of fun. I'm going to show you several different sizes and ways to incorporate the cork and a lot of different hardware, like I already said. So here are just a couple that I show you, and yeah, so there's no downloadable PDF for this one. This is just measurements given in the video, so stay tuned for those measurements as I will verbalize them, or you can check the description box below. But generally speaking, they are 14 inches by 2 inches or 14 inches by 1.5 inches, depends on the size of the hardware that we're using, but I will cover all of that in the video. So enjoy. Day 2 of 12 Days of Christmas, and this one is all about key rings or key fobs or key clips or whatever you want to call them. You can see I have a myriad of sizes of corks here, lengths rather, and then I have different hardware over on this end. And I'm going to walk you through just a few ways to make different types of key rings. So the first that we have, this is a 1/2 inch piece of sewn cork. I cut it out to 1 inch and then I folded it in on itself. I folded it in half and then I stitched 3 stitch lines. Technically this should probably have 4, but you know, let's pretend that it does. This is a length of 14 inches, and 14 inches is what I like to use for all of my wristlet straps, whether it is being attached to a bag or it is flying solo and it clips to the bag or it clips to keys or what have you. But so I would cut my cork 1 inch by 14 inches. I'd fold it in on itself and stitch down both edges. And I would get a 1/2 inch lobster clasp. And what I will do is slide one end. Oh, sorry. Psych. Let's do this first. I always like to bevel my edges. I'd always nip my edges so that they have those little nips in them. Gosh, I don't know what else to call it. But I like that. I just like the way that it looks. I think it's a little bit softer looking than having a harsh corner. But if you like having a squared off edge, go for it. I am not here to tell you how to do it. That's just how I prefer it. But so I would nip my corners, and then I take my 1/2 inch lobster clasp and I'm going to slide it about 3/4 to 1 inch. You can see I'm not measuring. I'm not going to be precious here, but I'm just sliding it up to where I have enough room to fold this edge up and over my hardware. And then I'm going to take this other edge here and I'm going to slide it right in the middle. And so I've made a sandwich and I have my nice beveled edge here on top. And what I'm going to do is using my hole punch, I'm going to just punch a hole right in the center. I accidentally let it go, but it's fine. I'm just going to use my rivet to line it up so I can put my rivet there through the first section, right here through the middle section, whoops, and then down here through the last section. And it will look something like that. Then I will take my rivet press and I will clamp that into place. And then we have a nice slim key ring. A lot of people love these over the 1 inch. I personally like a 1 inch key fob. I don't know why. I think it's just what I grew up with. So that's what I'm used to. But I do love a good slim key fob as well. This is the same size wristlet strap that my key fob wallet uses. And I just love it. It's more than enough to get the job done, but it's not overwhelming and you can slip it through your belt loop and all that, yada yada. So 1/2 inch lobster clasp, there you go. Next up, continuing with this lobster clasp trend, we are going to grab a piece of cork that is 14 inches long. That was originally 2 inches wide that I folded in on itself and then I stitched down both sides. And so ensuring that the seam side is facing me, I'm going to grab a 1 inch piece of hardware, so a 1 inch lobster clasp, and then you slide that just like we did on the thin one. You slide it up about 1 inch, and then you slip this guy right down in there. And my only amendment that I would make is I would put 2 rivets, one on either side here, right in between these 2 channels. Now, alternatively, say you don't want to use a lobster clasp, you can funk it up with a cool O-ring, and that would be different. and look cool. And it's just, you know, a different take on a classic. My only thing with this is that this is really thick. So if I was going to sell this, I might consider adding a jump ring, or, you know, just warning people when they buy them that getting a jump ring around this is just going to be a little bit more challenging. Whereas if you have the Lobster Clasp and this gate opens, it's a lot easier, obviously, to move keys around and such. Another alternative from the loop is you could do a 1-inch D-ring, and same concept, that you just have to tell people that it is thick down here, but it's totally doable. There's nothing wrong with it. And this is still a very functional key fob. And then, of course, you can keep it super traditional, and you would align your edges here, and you would take a piece of key fob hardware that comes with the jump ring already attached, and you would slide it right in the center and then clamp this shut. I don't want to clamp it right now because I don't need a new key fob yet, but let's pretend. But so those are the 3 different ways that I would do a 1-inch wide strap. So I'll just toss a clip on this for now. Put that right there. So we have our 2 traditionals. The super traditional with the actual hardware. You can get these all over the place. I got these from Waywack, super affordable, super quick shipping. You could do the 1.25, I think this one. Yep, so this is a 1.25 inch loop and then a 1-inch D-ring. Those all work as great options for a 1-inch wide piece of cork. Now, in the same vein of 1-inch wide, you can keep it nice and simple with just 1 color cork, but if you want to, you can easily add a 2nd color cork and do an accent and do all the same finishes, but just with, this would be a mega key fob. Check that out. It's the Jolly Green Giants key fob. But same exact idea, but instead of just having 1 layer of cork, you'll have 2. The way that you do this is the same way that I explained in my mini box tote pattern, but you take a 2-inch wide piece of cork by the length. So for the case of a key fob, I would do 14 inches by 2 inches. You're going to do the same process as here. You're going to fold it in on itself down the center. Don't stitch it yet. While that's just folded and clipped or folded and taped, you take a piece, the accent color piece, and it's 3/4 of an inch wide by 14 inches, and you're going to center it right over that seam. And then you stitch down the sides here. You can add 2 more stitches down the center if you want to, but totally up to you. But then once you get that stitch down, now you have a 2-tone situation going on, and then you would treat it just the same as the single application, the single cork piece. Should we just clip that? Because that's funny. It's like a new take on a shoulder strap. Huh. Funny idea. Okay, so we've got those 3 now. So this, as I was not researching, I've made all of these several times, but as I was getting everything together, I stumbled over this piece of hardware. If you don't know, I sell this on my website. It comes in 2 pieces. You get this section here, and then you get a 3/4 inch D-ring. And so the D-ring slides up into this hump right here. And I've been using these as strap connectors. Sorry about the dogs. Imagine that this is a long strap. You add this strap connector to your bag, so like the top of a mini box tote, the back of a backpack, you get the idea. And then you just attach your strap using a Lobster Clasp. But as I was thinking of this video, I thought, wait a minute, we could really use this at the end of a key ring, just the same way that we would attach like this guy. So whereas you slide both ends of the strap in here and then you clamp it, we could do the same thing with this. So I've never done this before. This is going to be a first foray for me as well. And so I'm just going to nip the corners only because this other edge was already nipped. And because this is not being folded up and over, we're not going to lose that inch. I did cut this strap a little bit shorter. So I cut this one to 12. So you can see the loop is kind of small, but it still fits over my hand nice. So the first thing I would do in order to stop it from slipping around is I'm going to clip on either side. And now I know that both of my edges are lined up here. And then what I'm going to do is just start the process of bending this and align my edges. I need to move these up just a touch. So I'm going to lay these edges right against this D-ring hardware, and then I'm just going to push it shut. And then from there, I would use this hole as a guide. And then now I'm going to put a rivet through the hole so that it comes out the other side. And then clamp this. Now we will clamp this one because I want to see how this works. Perfect. And then when we clamped it, the pressure from the press actually pushed the hardware all the way down. I love the way that that one looks. I think this one might be my new favorite. I love the look of hardware, and I really enjoy that it's an arch too. And it being a 3/4 inch strap has the same feel of a 1/2 inch strap, but the durability, or the, I don't know. I think it's a really, really great interim strap. Now you can see, because I had cut it so short, the height difference, I think I probably would maybe cut it at 13 inches as opposed to 12 and lengthen that just a touch. But I really love the way that that hardware looks. I'll put the link to this in the description box if you're interested in checking those out. Okay, so the last ideas that I had for key rings are going to be a little bit different. It's kind of the same idea of these guys, but instead incorporating multiple pieces of hardware and different strap lengths. Some people don't like long straps at all. Some people enjoy a carabiner, things like that. So I kind of wanted to mesh both worlds. And what I came up with is, this is a 6-inch long piece of cork. I cut it to 2 inches wide, and then I folded it in on itself and sewed up the 4 stitch lines. And what I want to do is I'm going to slide my hardware on one side, and then I'm going to slide a D-ring on the other. And what I want to do is I'm going to make these meet just right in the middle so that they're nice and flush. Clip this into place. And now I want to be extra careful to make sure that there's not a big seam showing. And so a way that you can help mitigate that, oops, is by putting a piece of tape there. I'm just going to grab a piece of tape, and unclip this, put this right down the center. There we go. There we go. So then this is just a really nice little, I don't know, it's almost like a multi-tool, which I think is really nice. I think that this would appeal to all genders. I don't think that you're pigeonholing yourself at all. But to finish it off, I would just do 2 rivets on either side of that seam. I'm so sorry about the dogs. We have guest doggies over, and they are listening to other doggies outside. They've got lots to talk about. So I'm going to take 4 rivets and install those just like normal. And then it would look something like that. I think that is just the cutest little tool to have your keys on, because you can attach your keys to here, but if you want to, you can use a regular jump ring like that comes on all key rings, and attach your actual keys to here. Like when I have a wireless start for my car, but it's aftermarket, and I'm always taking that off of my key ring so that I can just carry half of my keys. So having a clip would be great for that. But then I have like my permanent keys, my house key, all that type of stuff. So this is a great like dual key situation. And so I also had the other same idea, but with an even smaller situation, which now that the hardware's on there, let's try it with this. So again, you can use any combination. You can use the jump rings, you can use the D-rings, you can use lobster clasps. But for this little one, I think that it would be best to have a nice flat edge. So the jump ring might be a little, or not jump ring, but the loop might be a little hard. The loop would work really great on this one though. But so you want two nice flat edges, but the idea behind this one is, let's put some tape here. And so I'm going to put this side down. And again, I'm not measuring. Oh, this one was 2.5 inches long. 3.5 inches long, sorry. But so I loop this over about 1 inch, and then I would loop that over just like that. And then I would add one big rivet right here down the center, or you can add two, totally depends on the look that you're going for. But if you use a nice big rivet, it's a statement. Ow, I just hurt my finger. It'd be a little statement. But so that is basically this guy, but just even smaller for somebody who really just needs the convenience of being able to clip and unclip their keys as needed regularly, versus somebody who their keys never come off the key ring, would be for these guys. And then of course this one just for everybody. So yeah, I hope that in all of these you were able to find one that resonated with you, and I hope that you really, found this video useful. Let's see, we'll pretend this one goes there. Cute. So many different key rings. End of day 2. There we go. Already 2 days in. I hope that you found a couple key fobs that you liked. My personal favorite, I think, is this guy. I think that this one is super useful. And of course, this one with this hardware. As I mentioned in the video, if you want to check out this hardware, check the description box. All of that pertinent info will be in the description box of every video in this series, so you will always be able to find what you're looking for down there. And of course, if you can't, shoot me a message or leave me a comment and I will get back to you ASAP and get you the info that you're looking for. And yeah, so see you here tomorrow, guys.